Good evening, everyone. I would like to call this evening's King's Board of Education regular board meeting to order. Mr. Morrow, can you please call the roll?
Ms. Phillips.
Here.
Ms. Groff.
Here.
Ms. Cowan.
Here.
Mr. Belfrom.
Here.
Mr. Skrull.
Here. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. May I have a motion to approve this evening's agenda?
I'll make that motion.
Second the motion.
Mr. Morrow?
Ms. Phillips.
Yes.
Mr. Belfrom.
Yes.
Ms. Groff.
Yes.
Ms. Cowan.
Yes.
Mr. Skrull.
Yes. This moment, I'm going to hand it over to Mr. Sears.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Skrull, Board of Education. Those of you with us this evening, I just want to take a few moments before we get into the real agenda, just to reflect on a few things. Tonight, it's with a very heavy heart that I must acknowledge a tragic loss in the Kings Local School District family. Yesterday, we lost a beloved teacher from South Lebanon Elementary in a tragic car accident. Michaela Petticone was just 28 years old. She served as an intervention specialist, a role that requires patience, advocacy, and a deep well of empathy, qualities she possessed in abundance. But she brought so much more than just her professional skills to the classroom. Michaela was known for her infectious energy, the kind of positivity that could lift up a room the moment she walked in. She didn't just teach her students, she truly loved them, championing their success every single day. Beyond the classroom, she built amazing relationships with her colleagues, creating bonds that went far beyond the school day. To lose such a bright light so early is difficult to comprehend. Our thoughts and deepest sympathies are with her family, her friends, and the entire South Lebanon elementary community as they navigate this unimaginable grief. In honor of her life, her passion for education, and the love she poured into the students in our district, I ask that you please join me in a moment of silence and reflection. Thank you. I also just want to thank the Principal Brenda Adkins, our amazing South Lebanon Elementary staff, for their work today through very tough circumstances, coming in and grieving, and then also preparing for what it looks like for our students to return tomorrow. So we're anxious for that to happen. I'll also be remiss if I don't take the opportunity to thank I think, over 30 school districts in Southwest Ohio that have reached out in some way, shape, or form to offer support, condolences, provide support. Mason City Schools had one of their therapy dogs here today with our staff. I want to thank our PTO from South Lebanon Elementary for answering the call, providing lunch and breakfast today. And then the many other schools that are doing that themselves, that have reached out and that have already scheduled breakfasts or lunches or some other support for South Lebanon. So please keep that school family in your thoughts and prayers. We also want to extend our condolences to Michaela Petticone's family and her friends. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Mr. Sears. Moving on in our agenda, let's focus on some happy stuff. Next item we have is approval of the J.F. Burns Principal. Mr.
Yes. Yeah, thank you very much. It's a proud honor this evening. If I would have Erica Thompson, please come up to the podium. So I'm going to say a few things about Erica. This is just setting stage how this is going to go. I'm going to say a few things about Erica. The board, I'm going to recommend an approval, and then Mrs. Thompson has a few things to say after your approval. So it is a privilege and honor to introduce Erica Thompson and recommend her as the new principal of J.F. Burns Elementary. Erica is currently in her 22nd year of education and brings a wealth of experience in building leadership, curriculum support, and student advocacy into this role. Erica is already a familiar face at JF Burns, having served as the assistant principal since August 24. In her recent administrative capacity, she's demonstrated incredibly strong leadership by facilitating PBIS committees, supporting special education as a building and district rep, and leading professional development for staff. Her professional background includes nearly 4 years of experience as an assistant principal role in Forest Hills School District at Air Elementary. She's been an instructional leader as a learning design specialist, where she provided instructional coaching and mentored resident educators. She has over a decade of experience as a second and third grade classroom teacher, and she currently serves as the president of the Southwest Ohio Council for Teachers of Mathematics. She holds a master's in early childhood education and a 5-year license from the University of Cincinnati. At the core of her educational philosophy is an unwavering desire to have positive connection with students, colleagues, and families. She's dedicated to creating meaningful experiences and unique opportunities for the entire school community. Board of Education and Kings Community, it's my honor to recommend the board approve Erica Thompson as the next principal of JF Burns Elementary.
May I have a motion from the board to approve Mr. Sears's recommendation?
I'll make that motion.
We're all excited. I will second the motion.
Mr. Morrow?
Ms. Cowan,
Yes.
Ms. Groff,
Yes.
Ms. Phillips,
Yes.
Mr. Belfrom,
Yes.
Mr. Skrull.
Yes.
Congratulations.
It's gonna be easier. Is this working? Okay. Okay. I promise I won't take too long, but things need to be said. I could not be more excited and thankful for the opportunity to be the next principal at JF Burns. My short amount of time here has already taught me a great deal about the Kings School District. Over the last year and a half, I've learned that Kings is family, and our school board, our central office staff, our educators, and our families do everything they can to ensure all of our students have the best learning experiences possible. I look forward to supporting that vision as I work alongside the incredible staff at JF Burns. I would also like to thank the board for welcoming me as an AP a year and a half ago and now as the next building principal at JF Burns. Thank you for your trust that you put in me to ensure the academic progress, physical safety, and emotional well-being of 825 students and counting. I also want to thank the King Central Office staff for having an open door policy. It's very comforting to know that if I need anything, they are just a phone call away. They've also been encouraging and have done everything they can to support me as a professional as I've navigated a new district and a new building. As many of you know, I've had the privilege to get to work alongside Mrs. Cheryl Montag for the last year and a half. And in that short amount of time, I have learned to lead with love, to be an advocate for the students and staff in the building, to keep positive connections with families in the community, to take time to build relationships with everyone that comes through the door, and most importantly, to love on our kids and always put their needs first. I have quite the crowd with me here tonight, and I feel it's important to introduce them because their support has helped ground me in this journey. I have my husband, Shane. Could acknowledge yourself. My daughter, Emma, and my son, Michael. My sister, Ashley. My parents, Darrell and Jill Powell. And my bonus parents, my in-laws, Ken and Pat Thompson. Before I introduce the last couple that is here to celebrate with me, I want to remind all of those in education of their profound impact on those around them. The importance of the things they say to students, whether it's a note, email, a few words of encouragement, checking in on them after graduation to see how they're doing. Those actions may seem small, but they could get a student through a difficult day or could result in their former student accepting a position as an elementary building principal. The final couple I want to recognize is my high school principal and his wife, Mr. and Mrs. Mike and Pam Chandler. Mr. and Mrs. Chandler saw me as a leader in high school and have known well before I did this was the path that I should pursue. Just like my family, they've been there through every step of the way, excited to know when I got my degree in early childhood, when I finished my master's, when I obtained my admin license, when I accepted my assistant principal position, and now they are here today. Experiencing the impact that Mr. Chandler had on me makes me excited to pay it forward and continue to inspire, encourage, challenge, provide experiences our students need to one day be career-ready members of society. I am forever grateful for this opportunity and will cherish every moment with Mrs. Montag over the next few months, while I look forward to leading JF Burns in the upcoming 2026-2027 school year. Thank you.
Very well said, Mrs. Thompson. We're excited to have you. All right, moving on. Next item in our agenda, we have reports and presentations. Mr. Sears, still to you.
Yep, thank you. We're gonna stay on the some recognition train here with, I'm gonna bring up our athletic director, Mr. Eric Taylor. Mr. Taylor is here to recognize some accomplishments from the fall, specifically with our cross-country team. So I'll turn it over to Mr. Taylor.
Thank you all. I'd like to take a moment to recognize an outstanding season by the Kings Cross Country Team program and to congratulate our students athletes who qualified for the OHSAA State Championship Cross Country. This was a phenomenal year for Kings Cross Country, highlighted by both individual and team successes at the highest level. First, I'd like to recognize Joe Thomas. Come on up, Joe. Joe competed in the Division I state meet and finished 78th overall. Joe was also named first team all conference and is now the 11th fastest runner in Kings cross country history. This marks a special milestone for the Thomas family, as the last individual men's qualifier was Joe's brother Sam in 2023. And if I remember correctly, I think you beat Sam's time. Just want to get that on the record here. Joe was coached by both Paul Harris and Anna Davis. Thank you, Joe. I'd also like to proudly recognize the entire girls cross country team, which qualified for the state as a team for the first time since 2018 and finished an impressive 16th overall. Girls, if you could come up, please. Again, as a team, finishing 16th, a few individual highlights as well. So Havana Long, where's Havana? Not here. Havana finished 23rd overall and earned first team all-state honors. Lucy Marquitos finished 42nd overall. Maylee Gallatin, Harper McClung, Chloe McKee, Sadie Reeder, Laura Links, Maisie Burrows, and Becca Reed. In addition to Havana Long and Lucy Marquitos, they both now hold spots on the all-time cross-country record board at the stadium. The girls' team is coached by Dave Barta and Holly Schaubeck, and I both saw them here as well. Please join me in giving a well-deserved round of applause for our OHSAA state qualifiers and their coaches. Congratulations to an outstanding season. I'd like to do some photos. Yep. We also do look forward to recognizing the men's soccer team for their outstanding state runner-up performance in our next board meeting. Coaches, can you come join the athletes?
Great job.
Oh, we have to do multiple. Yeah.
Do you want them closer?
That's fine. Well, Joe, let's go, let's get the girls go. Everybody at the office, Joe, can you put your six out? I'll have two coaches on the other side. Perfect. Yeah, I'll get all six. Yes, yeah, I'll write that out.
Very cool. So you really well. My hands are right, so.
See everybody.
You see my head.
All right, here we go.
That's all that matters, right?
1, 2, 3.
This point in my life, I can't run to the mailbox, let alone.
I could, but it'd take me all day.
Right.
Good.
Yep. Go ahead, continue.
So next up, we are going to have a presentation from Columbia Intermediate School. For those of you that don't regularly watch or attend our board meetings, each board meeting we have one school highlight some of the amazing work that our staff, and now this year we've added our students into this equation. So I see a number of our awesome students in attendance this evening. So I'm going to turn it over to the Columbia Intermediate School principal, Mr. Josh Morrow, and assistant principal, Lori Stovall. And I will allow them to navigate through the strategic initiative presentation for Columbia. So thanks, Mr. Morrow.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Sears. Thank you. Just want to thank the Board of Education for, allowing us to have the time tonight to showcase some of the outstanding work that's, occurring at Columbia. We actually reached out. We have two presentations this evening. We have Mr. Roop and Mrs. Cost, who are going to be showcasing the outstanding work going on in their classroom. We have a number of students here as well. So first off, I'm going to introduce Mr. Roop to come on up and get us started. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for the opportunity to highlight the good work that we are doing at Columbia. Throughout my brief tenure as iTime teacher, I've sought to incorporate three main components to the program that align with district strategic initiatives: problem solving, creative design, and novel experiences with technology. Tonight, I would like to highlight two projects from iTime that incorporate these components. First, I will give the floor to Asher Rubel.
Hi, I am Asher Rubel, a sixth grader at Columbia Intermediate. This past semester in iTime, we explored the concepts of electricity and circuits and how it relates to basic computer keyboard functions. Little did we know that our human bodies, even fruits and vegetables, can conduct electricity as part of a larger circuit. Our class got to spend a significant time experimenting with the Makey Makey kits, which plug into our Chromebooks and allow us to control the computer keyboard with a series of wires and other conductive materials. This activity allows us to be creative, but also learn from failure in designing our own functional keyboards using bananas and potatoes as keys. It also opened our eyes to see what is possible through the power of technology. I would now like to play you a song using the Makey Makey piano app, which connects to a circuit made of potato keys.
Yeah.
Do that. So props to Asher. That was great. Thank you, Ashley. Finally, I would like to highlight the digital advertisement project. This project was born when reflecting upon something that happened many years ago. I was scrolling through social media, as we do, when I saw an advertisement for shoes. This ad continued to show up on my feed for weeks until I finally caved and bought the shoes. I wanted to show students the power of advertising combined with creative design. So I tasked them with creating a social media advertisement that promotes a shoe that they custom design, with the twist that they aren't designing a shoe that they would want. They needed to design a shoe for me as their target audience. But this wasn't a simulated exercise. I raised the stakes and told them that of all 800 students in the school who complete the assignment, I would select one student's design and purchase the shoes for myself. This forced students to think outside of themselves and their own preferences, but also that their choices have real-life economic consequences. I gave them enough breadcrumbs to have an idea of what kind of shoe I might like. But one of the biggest economic factors we discussed was a quote from Steve Jobs. People don't know what they want until you show it to them. Students took to the task and ran with it. 800 plus submissions later, and I found the shoes that I knew I needed. But it's hard to know who had more fun, the students creating their designs or me deciding which shoes to buy. So I figured we didn't have time to sift through all 800 submissions tonight. So here's a short compilation video of a few submissions for the assignment. All right. And of course, I am wearing said shoes tonight. These were designed by Piper Smith, a current 7th grader who was at Columbia last year. And I'm very pleased with the choice that I made. So.
Those look great.
And Mr. Sears, just let me know if you'd like to place a bulk order at some point.
I've been told I need to step up my shoe game too, so I'll be in touch.
Awesome. So again, thank you to Mr. Roop and Asher for being able to come in. Asher, great job on the performance. And Mr. Roop, thank you for putting that together to showcase some of the great work is happening in iTime. Next up, I'd like to welcome Mrs. Cost to come on up.
Hello, I'm Mrs. Cost. I teach 5th grade math and social studies at Columbia. About 2 years ago, my teaching partner and I were trying to find a way to incorporate the Power 5 within our lessons while giving the students some ownership over their work. So if you don't mind going to the next slide there, we came up with projects we called personalized learning projects, or PL projects for short. And we would give the students a theme and some guidelines and kind of let them run with it. The point was for it to be kind of across all of the subjects that we were teaching and covers multiple standards across all of the subjects. So we the students just loved it and decided they wanted to do their own presentations in their off time. And in October of that year, I had two girls come up to me and ask if they could do a presentation on a holiday that they celebrate in October, Diwali. And the students just loved it. They brought in stuff and it was just a really cool thing. And I liked seeing the reaction of the other students. So that inspired me to do something in the winter for a winter holiday, since there are so many in the winter. I was brainstorming with Christina Sherman, who works for Hamilton County, and she told me of another district that did a food truck festival for book reports. And I thought I could probably incorporate that with what I'm trying to do. So I wanted to add in math and social studies, but I also talked to the ELA science teacher, and we wanted to incorporate some of those elements to it as well. So that was kind of how this came about. I always introduce it to the students. So this was my third year doing this project, and it's evolved along the way, but I always introduce it to the students right before Thanksgiving break, just to get them excited and get them thinking. We don't do any work until they return from Thanksgiving break. They fill out a Google form saying what they would like to do, the holiday they're interested in, the country they're interested in, and we talk about how multiple holidays can be celebrated in multiple different countries. So they say what they would like. They say if they would like to work with a partner, if they would like to work alone. And I give them a top three people you would like to work with. No guarantees, but just let me know. That kind of avoids the whole partner up real quick and then somebody's left out, because I place them where I would like them to be. So it's designed for our 5A math class. And then I also select some students that are, quick workers, early finishers in my other grade 5 math class. So once we introduce the project to the students, they get rolling. I have kind of itemized list of what they should be doing each day. And then on Friday, they know that they're checking in with me. So it's kind of, I would say, goes with the career ready aspect of things. Where are you on your project? Okay, well, let me see what you have. This is what you need to go do. I would say by next week, you should be here. So they have individual meetings with me and we kind of touch base. I always go off of things that they have already done. So at the beginning of the year, my first social studies project is a timeline project where they do a personalized timeline they do 10 events in their life. And I show them on Google Slides how to do the timeline. So they're already familiar with that aspect, because part of their holiday presentation is a timeline of the history of the holiday. And then another thing that we do in November is they are hosting a holiday feast and they pick a recipe and they have to double it and show the formula they use to double it. That goes along with another task that they do within their slideshow in the holiday project, where they have to create the recipe for enough people on the team. Imaginary, of course, not for real, but they need to say, okay, so if this recipe, they look at the serving size. If it serves 12, what do I need to multiply this by in order to make 60, for all the students on the team? And then also the students that participate in Spark within my 5A class will have already done they do a catapult project. So they use cardboard and a lot of tools with that. So they're a little familiar with building at that point. So before we construct, the first thing is, I always say you have to do all of the work before you do the fun that they would consider the fun. So they have to have their entire slideshow done with all of the requirements, the timeline, the recipe. They have to create a menu for their food truck, and it needs to be on Canva, which you'll see some examples in a little bit. And they also have to create an advertisement, and they need to include some text features to pull in, their audience. So once they do all of that, they can construct. We talk about what that looks like. We use hot glue guns, we use scissors and cardboard. There's a lot of things that we have to just remember when it comes to the safety of that. But usually within the second week, they start their construction. The other class, they are the shoppers. So the grade 5 class, they're given a sheet that you can see up on the board. That is their shopping sheet. They can choose their category of budget. So they could, if they want to be just shop for themselves, they have $25 to spend. Up to, they could be a family and they could spend $100. So they have to spend within the dollar of their budget. They have to fill out, all the places until they get to that. And before that happens, they will have just done adding and subtracting decimals, so they can kind of put that to work as well. And then there's festival day. So on the day of the festival, these students get to put their food truck out. They put their advertisement out. They need to have a model. So one model of a food item, and you can see in this bottom middle picture, she actually did 3 models. I give them very little guideline on what I want it to include or have, or what I want them to use. Some people use paper, some people 3D print, Legos, all different kinds of things. I want to see what they can come up with. And so on the festival day, it's usually an hour long. We set it up like an actual food truck festival where people can walk around and visit and shop, and it's the fun. So I tell them they did all of the work before. They don't have to do the math part. We look at the sheets once the other students are done, because they always want to know who made the most sales and stuff. So we do chart that and tally that after the fact, but for that day, they just get to present their work and enjoy it. So, yeah. Some teacher wins with this, and of course I had to use the Indiana food truck because Indiana and Win kind of go together. Students just tend to take pride in their work with this. They're all invested in it. They want to do it. There's never been a time with this project in the last 3 years that I've had to say, are you on task? What's going on? Where are we now? They want to do it. They want to work on it at home. Even before Thanksgiving break, when I say this is what we're doing, they're like, well, can I start on Thanksgiving break? And I say, no, you can't. You got to wait. But they are invested in this and they want to do it. They use their class time wisely. So anything that we need to do needs to be done before the get to do. So they are motivated to use their class time wisely and do what is expected. I've had a student a couple of years ago that was very unmotivated by anything, and I was just trying for so long to figure out what would motivate the student, and this was it right here. Like, it was as easy as that, because they loved doing this and wanted to do it, and I had not seen this student work so hard and up until this point. So, and then I also get to learn from the students. I not only get to learn, about these holidays that some of them I had never heard of. I get to learn, they give me their input. So I get to say, okay, next year I'll try this or I'll try that. And it's constantly evolving because the students are giving me feedback. So for the Power 5 future skills, it's really all of them, 1 through 5. They're, even if they are not working with a partner, there's a lot of collaboration and communication just through the students coming around and communicating with them and buying from them. And the critical thinking piece, they're doing what they choose to do. And I'm not giving them much guidelines. I'm not saying you have to do it this way, or here's your little, model of a food truck that you have to replicate. they decide, and that's sometimes new for them, as well as problem solving too. You run into some obstacles and you can figure out how to, how to navigate through those. So, and then the career ready piece, which I would love for my students to come up and talk about how that they think that this has prepared them for the future. So, Julian, come on up. Advika and Ruby, come on up, and Kellen, come on up. You can set that right there. And Julian, you can go ahead and speak first.
Hello. Future project. I chose Hanukkah in Israel. I picked this holiday and country because I am Jewish and I celebrate Hanukkah with my family every year, and it is one of my favorite holidays. My favorite part about this project was being able to build the actual food truck. I liked how I was able to design it however I wanted without having to follow one specific way to build it. It made the project more fun and let me be creative. I also think the project taught me things I can use in the future. I learned how to advertise a product and how to design something from scratch, like my food truck. Overall, this project was really fun, and I think it taught me skills I can use in the future. Okay. Hi, my name is Helen Cook, and for my food truck, I chose a German-inspired Christmas cafe. I chose the name to be German Holiday Cafe, and I chose this country based off of my German heritage and from a dish called Spätzle that my mom makes. My favorite part about this project was creating, also 3D printing the food truck and decorating it. This project prepared me for futures with skills including financial budgeting, reasoning, in-depth research, scaling ratios, both in the 3D printing software and both in the recipe and printing software, sorry. And confidence in speaking. I also gained an appreciation of cultural diversity. Hi, my name is Advika. And my name is Ruby. And for our holiday, we choose the Lunar New Year, which is originated in China. For our food truck, we called it the Dragon's Lunar Cave. We chose this holiday because we thought it was a unique holiday from what we celebrate in Ohio. And for our country, we choose China because Lunar New Year started in China. What we liked most about this project was creating the food truck because we got to work together and put our creativity with some imagination into the food truck. This project helped us prepare for our future by teaching us the responsibility of money and helping us prepare if we ever start a business.
We can put these maybe out here if anyone wants to see them. These are their food trucks, their menus, and their advertisements that they put out, and then their models, their food truck model or food models. And he had his in there, made gelt. So if you would like to see. Thank you.
Out of curiosity, how many food trucks did you end up having prepared, made?
This year it was around 20.
Okay.
Last year, I decided I wanted to try to do both classes. That one ended up going out into the hallway, and it was, I think maybe, I don't know, maybe 40 that year. So it was a lot. I think what I am going to try this year is, instead of having them all do it at once, this group went in the winter, and then I want to do a spring food truck festival. So now that the other class got to see them and shop, because I think these guys would really like to shop too, because that's the fun part as well. We're gonna have the other class research spring holidays, and then we'll just split it. And that way we're not all constructing it. Thank you.
I just want to say that you did such a wonderful job presenting, boys and girls. Just so proud to say that, gee, I know some fifth grade students from Columbia Intermediate School and what awesome people you are. So thank you very much.
I agree. I had heard about this project, but there's nothing like having you guys come in and communicate that to us. Like your communication skills are off the chart and it really brings it to life. So thank you so much for coming. And to Asher too for his potato.
Good. Really awesome, guys.
Great job.
Thank you.
All
right. Thank you, guys. And lastly, just wrapping up, I think for a funny piece of this, I actually was had the opportunity back in the fall. I was in Mrs. Koss' classroom for a separate reason, and I happened to be sitting in class, and it was as they were introducing this project, and I had spoken with her and had a little bit of knowledge about it with me obviously being new to Columbia this year, and I heard a lot of really great things. And she was at the point where they had finished an engaging lesson. Students are up around the room, directly related to math concepts. One, I was very impressed with the level of the work that our students were working on, just exceptional learners, high performance. They're collaborating together. All the students, not one student was sitting in a seat. They were working on boards all around the room. And then they transitioned from that activity to brainstorming the ideas for what they just had early thoughts of what their food trucks would look like. And when you want to talk about engagement, it was like that. And these students, they're collaborating together, they're communicating, they're getting feedback from their peers. It's all the things that we talk about directly related to the Power 5 skills. And this was just as it was just being introduced. And so I think, being able to see our students come up, share their outstanding performances, again, reiterating the communication skills and the ability there is off the charts. I was so proud of you guys for being able to stand up here in a room full of a lot of adults and do such a great job with that. So again, just want to thank again the board for allowing us to showcase the outstanding work that's occurring at Columbia. I want to thank Mrs. Cost and Mr. Roop again for taking the time tonight to come out and show that, and again, all of our students. So hope everybody has a great evening, and thanks again for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming. Definitely some great things that we're seeing here tonight. Yeah. We'll wait a moment for it to clear out before we continue. Probably.
Yeah, neither. That was
Awesome.
the loan deal. What is that? The 1812 overture?
Featured electrical engineer right there.
When to yell, play Freebird. They wouldn't get it. No, they wouldn't.
Okay, moving on. The next item in our agenda is public participation. Seeing we have none tonight, we will move on to approval items for the treasurer, Mr. Morrow.
Thank you. I know the board had a chance to review the minutes. Item number 1. Item number 2, financial items. I'll just point out that the monthly financials are the primary document within this, in addition to the check register. And we're looking at year to date compared to where we thought we would be. We're within 1% in revenues and expenses outside of the income tax. So things are tracking as we expected, with no major change other than the passage of the income tax levy in November.
Did we have any questions for Mr. Morrow?
And then number 3, public records log, you'll see we're pretty caught up there, so in good shape.
Thank you, Mr. Morrow. May I have a motion to approve the items for treasurer?
I'll make that motion, Mr. Squirrel.
Second the motion?
Mr. Morrow?
Mr. Belfron,
Yes.
Ms. Phillips,
Yes.
Ms. Cowan,
Yes.
Ms. Groff,
Yes.
Mr. Skrull.
Yes. Moving along, item F, we have approval items for the superintendent. Mr. Sears.
Yes, there's a couple of approvals. The first one I'll note on here is really not necessarily an approval. Last week in our work session, we did discuss the project timeline for our new high school and anticipated transition. So just so the community is aware, we will be advertising this a little bit more as we move forward, but we're expecting a completion with the occupancy of our new high school on December 3rd of 2027. That will enable us to do a mid-year transitional move from our 9 through 12 students to the new high school. That will be in December and early January of the 27-28 school year. So that timeline is there just for our community to reference, so they can see. I'll also advertise it on January 29th at 7 o'clock. We are having a community information night about our new high school, all the things associated with it, the latest design images, the construction timeline, from a budgetary perspective and a move schedule. So we'll cover all of that January 29th. That's open to all the community. We would look forward to seeing lots of people come to see all of the final images and the timeline with that. So the next one is approvals for field trips. A few added since last week. There are a few. The first one is a firecrackers trip to the University of Pittsburgh on February 20th. The second one, and some of these are anticipatory, but some of these are the swimming state championships in Canton, Ohio on February 26th. We're anticipating a number of athletes there. I will point out some, and then we like to recognize our students. But Maya Schweikert had an incredible weekend over this past weekend in the Southwest Ohio Coaches Classic Swim. It's one of the most premier, prestigious swimming events in the state of Ohio. She won 4 individual first place by setting the pool and meet record in all 4 of those events. So we are anticipating Maya being on the podium quite a bit in Columbus coming up, or in Canton in a few weeks. We also have cheerleading nationals heading to Orlando February 5th. The varsity dance team nationals on February 3rd. And another anticipatory, we're having a very strong wrestling season, and we're anticipating potentially getting some athletes to the wrestling state tournament, and that will be in March 13th through the 15th. So some of these are preemptive, just anticipating some outstanding student performances.
Do we have any questions for Mr. Sears? All right, may I have a motion to approve items for the superintendent?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Morrow?
Ms. Groff,
Yes.
Mr. Belfron,
Yes.
Ms. Phillips,
Yes.
Ms. Cowan,
Yes.
Mr. Skrull.
Yes. Next, moving on, item G, approval items for assistant superintendent HR business. Mr. Spinner, Mr. Lucky.
Good evening, President Skrull, Kings Board of Education. A few items under our section this evening. Personnel items we discussed last week during the work session, relatively similar to what we discussed, mostly dominated by spring supplementals. But there is one glaring addition that I would like to ask Mr. Lucky to say a few words about.
So the one addition, if you guys obviously follow each other on the Facebook, and Mr. Blanton's done a fantastic job celebrating the retirement of Jeff Cup. If you knew Jeff, you'd have some funny stories because he loves to tell stories about him growing up. He grew up right behind KEC here on the corner, and just a joy to be with. And Jeff was here when I got here long ago, and just loves kids. If you saw his quotes and some of the postings that Mr. Blanton put out, he'll be back here to read to kids. He is a King's Knight forever. So greatly appreciate his time here. One, I'm jealous that he gets to retire and walk away. but wish him all the best in his retirement. He brings me a lot of joy every day. I'm sure we'll keep in touch through his retirement.
Thank you, Mr. Lucky. Item number 2, school year 26-27 preschool and childcare rates. No major changes for preschool. However, the before and after care, along with during the day and our summer program, are increased slightly, anywhere from $5 to $10, depending on the option parents might choose for either before and after, during the day, or summer camp. This is to keep up with inflation, but also maintain a competitive program here in the Kings local school district. Item number 3 is the summer camp 2026 handbook. Again, as we discussed last week, minor changes in language, mostly having to do with updating calendar dates. And then school calendars, to piggyback on what Mr. Sears spoke of earlier, we are maintaining entrance into our new high school in 2027 and need some time in order to make the big move there. That 27-28 or 27-28 school year calendar has some time built in for our high school staff to make that adjustment. The school board can anticipate a 28-29 calendar draft at our next work session in February. So we are moving ahead and making sure that our timelines are where they need to be to make that move successful.
And then the 3 items there that are remaining, no new changes from last week's presentation.
When will those calendars be put on the website?
Shortly after they're approved.
Okay.
If they're approved.
Okay. And can you go over, just not in detail, but just the fact that there's 2 separate ones, just so that parents, when they go on, that they're not confused?
Yeah, and they're labeled as such. Our Kings Early Childhood Center through 8th grade is one calendar. Their major difference, they have a lengthier winter break to line up with our high school students, but then also have some logistic days, not only at the end of the calendar year, but also going into the 28-29 school year. High school staff, on the other hand, their moving dates or their logistic dates are wrapped up in that winter break to provide some time for them to pack up their classrooms and prepare themselves for that move. So we do have a lengthier winter break to adjust for that, along with some remote learning days, which are staff work days, but adjustments for our student schedule. Those are not on the KECC through 8th grade calendar. Those are some slight differences. You'll also notice there is our typical in-service days at the beginning of the year, work day, staggered start for our grade levels, along with Labor Day. There's no fall break. We have a full week at Thanksgiving. That's true of both calendars. There is a spring break at the end of March, and then we'll wrap up before Memorial Day in May on both calendars.
And the students, both preschool through 8 and then 9 through 12, they have the same number of school days?
Roughly. So KECC through 8th grade is 173. I'm just going to double check before I confirm that. And then the high school students are also at 173. So yes, they do.
Thank you.
And the same 185 work days for our staff.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just know it could be a little confusing since it's different.
And with this one, we will also cover this a little bit more with our community on January 29th at our community information night as well, because that does impact the timeline. We're also meeting with beginning conversations at every staff so they understand what the logistics days mean, what the adjustment. We've tried, I think the entire goal is to try to maintain the essence of the calendar as best we can, but navigating that mid-year move during the 27-28 year, the necessary need to extend that break a little bit longer. So the rest of it, there's some minor nuances to each calendar, but the reality is that big break within that it's a extended break in that year just to allow for the move into our new high school. So most of the rest of it won't look significantly different to families, except for that time period. We'll make sure we cover all that and get that communicated well. So.
And Mr. Lucky, just For the record, how much is that CIS change order giving back?
240,000.
Thank you, sir.
240 and 3 zeros. That's good. Significant dollars. We have any other questions or comments?
I would just say, and I know we've all talked about this before, but how much we appreciate the due diligence, Mr. Lucky and Mr. Morrow and Mr. Sears for saving us money whenever and however we can on these building projects.
Yeah, absolutely. Agreed. May I have a motion to approve the items for Assistant Superintendent HR and Business?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Morrow?
Mr. Belfrom,
Yes.
Ms. Phillips.
Yes.
Ms. Cowan, Ms. Groff,
Yes.
Mr. Skrull.
Yes. Moving along to item number H, we have approval items, Assistant Superintendent Educational Programs.
Everyone, Matt and I will take questions. I think Matt's got a few things he's going to go over about the presentation last week, the career website, and then scheduling for this year.
Thanks, Dana. Just a reminder, last week we had the content that Mr. Dunn and Ms. Rose reviewed in terms of changes. The substance of that mostly is around dates and updates of that nature. So there are no new courses that are added that we're asking your approval of tonight. And also in terms of our Nights of Distinction, the sheet that is actually loaded in here did not, we accidentally left that on there, but that is not a part of what we're asking you to approve. So I just wanted to make that clear. We're gonna kind of go back and have some continued discussion after feedback on that. So that is not a part of the program of study that we're asking for you to approve tonight. So any other questions you have though, with regard to last week's presentation, we are happy to take.
At what point do they start the scheduling process?
It starts at the beginning of February. So in a few weeks, it starts with the teachers having academic advising day with students where they have conversations about placements for the following year. And then the academic fair is the following week on the 12th.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions from the board? Okay, may I have a motion to approve the Assistant Superintendent Educational Programs items?
I'll make that motion.
Second the motion.
Mr. Morrow?
Ms. Phillips,
Yes.
Mr. Belfrom,
Yes.
Ms. Groff,
Yes.
Ms. Cowan,
Yes.
Mr. Skrull.
Yes. So next item we have is items presented by the board. I see we have a student achievement presentation. Mrs. Groff.
Okay. So for January, I have about 4 slides to show you. The first one is King's Preschool, and it's our, these kids have been good communicators of sharing thanks. So after 25 years of hard work, our youngest knights were able to communicate a big thank you to their custodian, Mr. Jeff Cup. They made cards and crafts for him to celebrate his retirement. We can all learn from these kids that it is important to communicate not only what we learn in our classes, but also to communicate to the people that mean so much to us in our daily lives. Thank you, Mr. Cup, for all your years of service to the district. As far as critical thinkers, at JF Burns, we are featuring the 2nd grade science class. Our 2nd graders were gifted presentations from the Crystal Clear Science Program on Energy, compliments of our amazing PTO. These students got to complete hands-on activities and work through the scientific process. I liked this particular one demonstrating Newton's law of motion with nickels. So they actually got to do all these hands-on projects with the Crystal Clear Science Program. The next one is collaborators. Last week at our quarterly King celebration, these 5 high school students were recognized for their leadership on Sources of Strength, our district student-led mental health and suicide prevention program. Not only do they collaborate together, but also with the entire SOS team and all of their peers at the high school. And then lastly, we have a alumni to talk about career ready skills. This is Sam Webster. He's a 2023 alumni. He is a computer science major at Georgia Tech. This past fall semester, he studied abroad in Madrid, Spain. He took some math and computer science classes while he was there. When I asked him about his experience, he said, I learned how hard, I actually thought this was a real, before I say this, it was interesting. What he learned was more like soft skills, which I really liked. He learned how hard parents work to make their children's life easier, something you don't quite appreciate until you're far away and on your own. He also said that King's prepared me for this experience by offering many STEM-related classes and giving me the opportunity to work alongside many other talented, driven individuals. Being amongst peers that push me to be my best every day helped me become a greater version of myself. So great job, Sam, and he's back at Georgia Tech this semester, and we will look forward to hearing more about different alumni and the experiences they're having post-King's.
Thank you, Mrs. Gruff. Do we have any other items presented by the board this evening? No. Okay, seeing none. We're up to item number J, adjournment. May I have a motion to adjourn this evening's meeting?
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Morrow.
Mr. Cowan, Mr. Belfrom,
Yes.
Ms. Groff,
Yes.
Ms. Phillips,
Yes.
Mr. Skrull.
Yes. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. Thanks, Heather.